Khan, Shalom, Shalom,
Shalom.
Shalom. Man, that song hit every time. Shalom.
Yeah,
First,
that's your jam. Hey, it is. No, it's on time though. Yeah, it's on time. But yeah,
Khan,
you got it, brother.
Khan, with that, man. Before we start off, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them. And peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved of the Tazapah as well. And the Wadi
Shalom.
Bashim Awashai, man, as always, for blessing us with another opportunity to come push out his word, and more importantly, prophecy. Which is the best thing that a man of the Lord could go out and speak. That was the same spirit our Lord Yahweh was in. To tie these ancient prophecies to modern events, so the people in our age could well understand what's going on biblically. So it's a beautiful opportunity that the Lord have blessed us with, and man, we're in some good times. Like the intro said, I can feel it coming in the air tonight, right? You see, and you could definitely feel the Lord prophecy is coming.
Hey,
And that's
that fit the zeitgeist.
yep.
That's on time. Yeah.
Let me go into that definition again. This is there we go. This is that definition of zeitgeist. What we went on the etymology last time, huh?
I don't even remember.
I think it was the etymology. And
It
Shalom
probably
too.
was though. It probably was.
Yeah, it was. I think it said the spirit of the time. Huh?
Right. Spirit of the age or the time. Yep.
They sound blocked from the etymology. Anyway, when you go into that definition of
See,
zeitgeist,
look, we getting close.
yeah,
The family of the word.
yep. But zeitgeist from Google, Oxford Dictionary says the defining spirit or mood of a particular period of history as shown by the ideas and beliefs of the time.
Man.
Mm-hmm. So the spirit of the times when is all about prophecy being fulfilled. And now the this particular event that's going on now, you see Esau Edom making his move. We got the house scripture, Revelation 12:12. If a brother could post that, Baba Kashak, he making his move. He can't do nothing else. He forced to, man. And we want to go into that. First, it was the northern kingdom, right? Or you want to call them Israel or Ephraim.
Yep.
But now it's Judah, the southern kingdom, man. You niggas out there who thought y'all was untouchable.
Right.
And that's why the title is Thursday Live, and we can hop into it. But whatever you got to other Tazapah, the floor is yours, got precepts.
Yeah, right quick. I'm trying to see where I'm gonna start. This is Jeremiah chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldest. The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel had done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there had played the harlot. And I said, after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returned not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, which is in the spirit of it's talking about spiritual adultery. All right, serving other gods, false gods, and false idols. So it says, And when I saw for all the reasons, I'm sorry, and I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce, yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. All right. Verse 9 says, and it came to pass through the likeness of her whoredom that she defiled the land and committed adultery with stones and with stocks. So let's see what that. Yeah, let me read 10. And yet for all this, her treacherous sister Judah had not turned unto me with her whole heart, but feignedly, said the Lord. And so, in a sense, we see history repeats itself. Because when you go to ancient history, during the time we were set up and we were in rulership, and after the time of King Solomon, the split took place, and then you had the northern kingdom, and then you had the southern kingdom. All right. The northern kingdom was heavy into idolatry, just like you see the Latin tribes. These are the same people, just like they are today. The scriptures say, don't say, Ephraim is given to idols, let him alone. Okay, come. That's never changed. All right. As a whole, they still carry that spirit because there is no new thing under the sun. So the Most High got rid of them first. And so we see here, judgment, it came to them first. And then the Most High said, after 724 BC, the northern kingdom came over here. And as I just read, the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, they didn't fear. They fell heavily into whoredoms and idolatry. And then the Most High brought judgment to them and took them. Well, first of all, the northern kingdom went into Assyrian captivity, which was them Assyrians were brutal, harsh, bloody. All right. But then the Babylonians wasn't much different. Basically, they came forth out of the Assyrian Empire and put the southern kingdom into captivity, the so-called Negroes, as you would know them, the West Indians and the Haitians today. So we see, in a sense, history repeating itself because the Most High brought judgment to the northern kingdom first, but now we see things are getting ready to get hot and heavy for the southern kingdom. Okay, and y'all was seeing the judgment, and y'all didn't say, man, let me go get to my local Great Millstone camp. This is your clue. I don't know if the Most High going to accept you or not, but that was your clue to come out. Now it's about to be on. What you think? The camp going to be out in D.C. now? I mean, I'm sure they can find a spot, but it's getting to that point. What we going to teach? And they got the streets patrolled and locked down. So see, this thing is coming to a head, and I don't want to, take up too much of the time, but it's a lot to unpack. Lord will unpack some of it, right? But this is the all in all. They going for they going for it. They didn't hit the sideline. They trying to break. But we know, they can get tackled right at the 1. On the 5, inside the red zone, they ain't getting in the end zone. But go ahead, brother.
John, that is it. That's spot on. But we can hop straight into it. And as you see, it says the title, Thursday Live, Jacob's Trouble is coming to a city near you. And even that's going to be a point within this lesson, quick segment, that it ain't just D.C. It's many places around America, but ultimately it's going to be all America. It says, and the dragon's wrath, because it's time for Esau to move, man. Again, time ain't on this side. Matter of fact, we'll get this real quick since the brother Yahweh posted it. And Shalom to Allah Akim Akwatu. Y'all Bashim Al Shabraka Thumb. But Revelation 12:12 it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, which is Esau Edom, it says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. It says, because he knoweth that he have but a short time, man. You know, so we about to see the devil's or the dragon's wrath, because he know his time to rule is over with. You know, he out of there. So now he's, again, as we see last week, a quick recap, because this is really a part two somewhat of last week. You know, what the Lord had us speak on last week. How Trump wanted to federal. See how quick things moving. Last week we were just saying, see, he talking about federalizing DC, and a few days later he did it. He did it. That was the topic. You got it, Salagia.
You know, make your point, brother.
Now that was the topic last week, though. He talking about federalizing DC. We said what it could lead to, martial law. Now look, a couple of days later, now look. But you got it, Dozaquan.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I do know. I called it what it was. I said, no, that's code for martial law.
Yep, you did say that.
And I didn't know if anybody else was saying that. That's just from my study. I said, no, that's called federalization, as Trump was referring to. He talking about martial law. Now everybody's saying, oh, yeah, it's martial law, martial law, martial law. Yeah, well, you stay one step ahead of the game when you tune in to Great Millstone. But yeah.
That's it. Yep. So, man, it's a lot to unpack, like you said, but we're going to move with the spirit. But before the good stuff, you know, the good stuff, we're going to start with this, which, again, the Lord said it was going to be signs in the heavens to show what time we're in. Now, this is a quick thing, and this, I don't know if this happened before in history, but a blood moon and an eclipse, well, a blood moon eclipse. Now, supposedly, the whole world going to see this one. You know, usually it's just Asia.
Oh, that's cold.
You know, yeah. Con. You know, usually it's just South America and half of, you know, America see it. Or usually it's just Canada. No, now it's everybody seeing it. This is a worldwide sign, man. Natural news, not natural news, endtimeheadlines.com. It says, and we could be quick with this one. We want to get into got a couple of videos we want to play, but endtimeheadlines.com. It says, and this was put out August 12th, 2 days ago, over 7 billion people will witness blood moon eclipse in September. It says there is a great total lunar eclipse coming up in a few weeks, and a vast majority of people on the planet from Oceania to Brazil will enjoy it. The event will happen depending on your time zone during the evening between September 7th and September 8th. So mark this on our calendars. It says, and from partially, well, see, like you said, if following Great Millstone, I'm sure you're going to get the update the closer it get to the day. Right? It says, you know, Butter's going to hit on it, you know, but it says the event will happen depending on, did the chief even go try to pop up on a day? Yeah, I've been telling y'all, you know, them blood moon when the time, you know, on Instagram, you know, doing it. Like, anyway, it says the event will happen depending on your time zone during the evening between September 7th and September 8th, and from partially to the total spectacle of the so-called blood moon, and then back to partiality. It will take 3 hours, 29 minutes, and 24 seconds. It says if you want to see the whole spectacle from start to finish, including the dimming of the numeral phase, got to make sure we're getting that right. Let's see. I don't know. Numeral. I ain't got somebody to say it, but if I'm saying that wrong, it's a lie. But it says phase, you have plenty of place to pick in. So it says most of Asia, the silver of East Africa, Western Australia will get the full show. The rest of Africa, Australia, much of Europe, the east coast of Brazil will get the least part of totality and partiality. And it goes into it, America, you know, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, the whole world gonna see this one, man. You got someone on El Tazapar?
No, you all right.
So we just wanted to highlight that. Now we can hop straight into it. And again, this is what's happening. This is the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. And it's not just that this happening. It ain't just that troops being called. No, it's that what's been happening before this. Everything that's been set in place, every law that's been signed into place, thing that Trump signed off, it's all been a setup, man. And Elder Tazapah, you made a beautiful point, Lord. Will we get to it? Or you kind of the spirit hop on you to mention in a few. But how this could be a reasoning because the Esau knows something about to happen. The government know they about to crash. And I don't want to speak on it, but you got it. But the point is to have troops on the street before all hell break loose, man. So a lot could happen just from this event.
Mm-hmm.
Just from this event. But let's hop into it. Now we ain't gonna get straight into this article right here, but I'm gonna post this in the chat because it seemed like this thing is coming true. Now, this is a little document from the DOD, the Department of Defense. It says DOD Directive 5240, Section 01. Now, we touched on this a few times, and we're going to come back to it if it be the Lord will here and now throughout this lesson. But it says the DOD intelligence and intelligence-related activities, here it is, and defense intelligence component assistance to, keyword, defense intelligence component, assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. We seeing this thing when we read this. And those who've been with us, y'all know we touched on this a couple times. We seeing that these things that were signed. Remember, Trump signed something for the DOD a couple months ago. That any move he could use them. Well, it looked like this playing out. And Lord willing it is. One more time. Defense intelligence component. Assistance to help law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Right? So we're going to touch on this. And if you got some other Tazapah before we play this video?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. That's interesting.
Okay, Khan. So this from Elder Manatazagba.
Here you see President
Page in South Carolina, which I'm sure y'all are privy to at GMS South Carolina 08. Now I'm gonna play the first couple minutes of his video. Now I want to start with this one because this is Trump's whole speech about the news or the happenings of what's going on now. So just to play this to get everybody caught up before we kind of move on, But if you wanted to stop at Elder Tazapah, just let me know. Con. Make sure we good. Con, we good. Let's get it.
President Trump walking up to the podium. Let's listen.
I've been up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Very good people, but they're tough, and they know what's happening, and they've done it before. In addition, I'm deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly. And you people are victims of it, too. You're reporters, and I understand a lot of you tend to be on the liberal side, but you don't want to get mugged and raped and shot and killed. And you all know people and friends of yours that happened. And so you can be anything you want, but you want to have safety in the streets. You want to be able to leave your apartment or your house where you live and feel safe and go into a store to buy a newspaper or buy something. And you don't have that now. The murder rate in Washington today is higher than that of Bogota, Colombia, Mexico City, some of the places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. The number of car thefts has doubled over the past 5 years, and the number of carjackings has more than tripled. Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes through our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had zero. That's right. But
right there. Now, I was doing a lesson earlier today, and I was looking for that part. It wasn't in the video that I, had on my lesson. But right there, that backs up what I said months ago when they started the deportations of the Northern Kingdom, the Latinos, and I said this is war being waged. It's no coincidence why he mentioned just like we did down at the border. All right, they're getting ready to go into the inner cities, the urban areas. All right, that's why he mentioned the crime and safe to walk to the store, get your newspaper and all of this. He's referring to the inner cities. Okay, at the border was who? Mainly the Northern Kingdom. The inner cities is a mixture of Northern and Southern Kingdom, the Negroes and Latinos, but mostly, like he mentioned, DC is historically black. He mentioned in Oakland. You got a mixture in Oakland, but it's them niggas out of control in the whole Bay Area. Frisco, Oakland, all up through there. He's mentioning the cities where niggas, he mentioned Chicago. Where the YNs, the young niggas, are wilding out. Elder Yashawamba pointed this out. I see it. Yeah, I've been seeing it. Brothers are seeing it. But I called this out at least a month ago, that this is war.
Yep.
And so now it's coming to fruition, all right? It's developing, and Jay still don't know what's going on. Jay still don't know what's going on. I don't know. Well, go ahead. But he said this is under the Home Rule Act. And I mentioned the brothers, all right? You start with DC because that's the head of this corporation. So you always start at the head, and then you work your way to the rest of the body. That's what a corporation is. It means body, all right? That's why I said the Home Rule Act. That's how we're going to rule. We're going to get our house in order and get these niggas in line. It's the Home Rule Act. You going to act right, or you going to get your ass up out of here. All right? So when you say rule, like I mentioned earlier, democracy is what? Mob rule. Democracy is mob rule. So we're leaving from mob rule to go into home rule, which is actually the all of this tyranny. All right, but yeah, that's not. Don't just let that pass by you. The Home Rule Act. All right, they getting ready to change the rules of the house. Remember, he's the keeper of the house. Do I need to get that? I'll get it. He's the keeper of the house, and he's telling you what he's getting ready to do at home. So yeah, that's a very important video to watch. We are in a keystone, linchpin moment in history right now. We are in a strategic point in time. All right, everything that you once knew is about to be changed. Let me read it right quick. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Home rule. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, I'm going to go right to the point, verse 3. It says, in that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, all right, that's talking about these global elites and these rulers, these higher ups, all right, they're going to tremble because the Lord is about to bring terror upon them. While they so busy caught up in terrorizing us, the Most High already got them in the trick bag. They're getting ready to be terrorized. So the scripture says, Ecclesiastes 12 and 3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, Esau, Edom. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease. And this is what all this is going into. So keep this in the back of your mind. It says, and the grinders cease, the workers cease, because they are few. It says, and those that look out of the windows are darkened. All right. So the grinders cease because there's a lack of jobs right now. And that's what all this is stemming. That's a big part of the issue right now. But go ahead, I just had to point that out.
Kind of, that's it. We'll play a little bit more and we can move on. This is a video of Trump talking about really everything we'll kind of touch on, but we'll play a little more.
Gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and
Remember, think about what he's saying. They ain't just immigrants no more. Now he pointed at thugs, wild youth, you know? It's like the lawyer said, his people in the corner like wild bulls, roughly paraphrasing. Yep. You know, gangbangers and drug dealers, right? He talking about you niggas out there, man.
Murders in 2023 reached the highest rate probably ever. They say 25 years, but they don't know what that means because it just goes back 25 years. Can't be worse. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it.
It's not that they ain't going to let it happen. You ain't got the time no more. So Esau got to make a move. He got to remember, we in the time to go fake things. Isaiah 10, he got to fake things just to make his agenda go forth. That's it.
Yeah, just like we did on our southern border. Nobody comes to our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row, we had zero. I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work, it's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible. And, you know, when you say take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is... Okay, the red is a place called Washington, D.C. Look at these. Baghdad is...
Now we could kind of move on. I'll play this quick
video.
Yeah, because we already seen that. There's a quick one from Dabu. Let me see.
And we're here for a very serious purpose. Very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly.
Seen that
and I say this, Elder Yakawamba did make a very good point. This is an excellent, excellent display, if you will, of Hegelian dialectic. Okay? Problem, reaction, solution. Because all of this is by design. And he's mentioning the druggies and the thugs and all of that. When did that really get out of control? After Trump left his first term and Biden came in. And that's the dialectic. Extreme right, you had Biden brought in the extreme left, and now here comes Trump with the corrective measure of the extreme right. That's a dialectic. Extreme left, extreme right. And what they gonna do is press your ass from both sides until you cream, you oozing out the middle. And that's where we are, caught in the middle of this shit, and we need a savior. Fuck all that shit you niggas talking about. Oh, ain't nobody coming to save you. You gotta save yourself. I want to see you get yourself out of this. The Most High is not, man, all that old dumb talk and slick talk and all that dumb shit we had to endure and get from niggas. Y'all wasting y'all time and all this. Okay. Now what you niggas gonna do? Now, I got the weapon of my warfare. I'm yielding it right now. What you niggas gonna do? You gonna talk the tyranny into you gonna finesse tyranny? What the fuck you niggas gonna do? Yeah, the time of talking and playing them games, all that's coming to an end. Yeah, brother. All of y'all like to talk about standing on business, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Lord about to make you do. All that hot shit you was talking, you're gonna have to stand on. Oh, the mark of the beast is sin, you're gonna have to stand on that. Oh, mark of the beast is sleeping with a white woman. Well, you stand on that. But go ahead, go ahead.
Con, I'll play. I think I want to see why this Dabu one. Let me see.
Very quickly, like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital, the United States, for public safety.
Going into, huh? Do you ever stop to think about that and see the bigger picture? Of course, people that are on drugs need.
That's cool. It's cool. We can move on. So, other than that, so as we know, that's what Trump did. He federalized DC. You know, you got the troops out there now. As I know, the Elder Ariala spoke on it. We spoke on it last week. Elder Yashawan, many different brothers spoke on it. But what obviously is this going to lead to? Martial law being set up, man. You know, and especially if the event happen and where people bug out, you already got, like Elder Tazapah said, you already got the troops there. You already have them there. Now, I don't know if you want to touch on this article right now, or you kind of want to just move on and let it fall in. Just let it fall in.
I'll let you. Well, shit. Go ahead. Play what you got. Play what you got.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna play a little bit of Elder Yashawama video because he made some good points, and I got some time.
No, that's right on time. Yeah, let's do that.
I got some timestamps because he kind of make a good point for everything else we're gonna touch on, right? But I got the timestamps. We're gonna start at around 11 minutes. 11 minutes. We're gonna let it flow. And if you got anything, Zaquan, let me know. And he gonna speak on the same thing. So his page, as y'all should know, Remnant Save 144 put out yesterday. Title was "Martial Law is Coming to the Hood." It's time, and it's definitely time. So let's go ahead and play it.
Esau Edom to flash like a lightning. Now will you laugh? All that mocking and playing. Even you Israelites, y'all getting ready to catch hell. Okay? Those far stronger than you have fallen beneath its power. Okay, the Lord has given the power unto Esau in this time, man. Yes, the sword is now being sharpened and polished. It is being prepared for the executioner. Okay, and I know what's going on in Oakland. I haven't lived there since 2000.
Want to show this real quick because he said Oakland. Now it's mentioned because people think, oh, it's just DC. It's not just DC. It's not just DC. I read this real quick. It says President Trump just called out Oakland, California, as a city he might take over due to rising crime, even hinting at sending in a National Guard. It says he's also already mentioned deploying troops to DC and named New York City, Baltimore, Chicago, and LA as other possible targets. So in other words, where these niggas at?
Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this. And this will go further. We're starting very strongly with DC, and we're going to clean it up real quick, very quickly, as they say.
Keyword, he said, we starting very strongly with DC. That's exactly what you said, Elder Tazapah.
Yeah,
they start with DC first, and then they go move on. They telling you they prove.
For the first time in American history,
the head of the corporation. That's the whole. That's the federal. You know, we was talking before the live stream started. And you go back to the inception of the whole idea of federal, and as I was telling you, is actually the usurpation of the sovereign rights of each several state. Each several state is supposed to be its own government. And that's why each state has its own Supreme Court. All right. There was a fiasco here in Texas with the Supreme Court just last week, where the Democrats fled to keep from voting on the rezoning issue that would have gave Republicans more votes. So I guess most of them fled up into Chicago. But yeah, the Texas Supreme Court was going to vote to rezone Texas, and that would have gave more votes to the Republicans. But the point here being is each state is supposed to be its own sovereign, geographical place. Now, when they brought in the federal thing, that really took away a lot of the rights of each individual state. So that was the whole purpose, and the whole federal shit set up the corporate structure that we know now. DC and all that. DC is federal. It's not the U.S. It has nothing to do with the United States of America. It's its own sovereign 10 square mile district. That's why it's the District of Columbia. It's a federal district. And it was set up to impose, just like the Federal Reserve, have you think that this is government, and it's not. And DC it never was. I ain't gonna say never was, but the federal government has way overstepped and overreached its bounds, and that was the point of its inception in the first place. So now we come to this, right? The federalization of everything. Yeah, you got to start in DC. All right, and then people think, oh, this government is legit. It's color. All right, it's false. It's de facto. And then that's what they're getting ready to do. Now pull that article up. I'm going to read that. If you read it for me, I don't have it. Mainly the first two paragraphs, I believe.
Okay, Con. So this is from the website of BrennanCenterForJustice.com. It says the president's power to call out the National Guard is not a point blank check. So you want me to start at the top?
Con, start at the top.
It says the National Guard plays a crucial role in the United States, and it's going to lead into everything we'll go into next. It says the National Guard plays a crucial role in the United States. It says both in its capacity as a reserve component. Hold on. It said component. Going back to this DOD thing.
Right. It's all connected. It's all connected. Right. It's all connected. But go ahead.
Yep. Defense intelligence component that's going to help to the law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. So it's a component. God. It says the National Guard plays a crucial role in the United States, both in its capacity as a reserve component of the armed forces and as a versatile asset that state governors can call on in times of civil unrest, natural disaster, or even the CV virus.
Right, the governor, because that each individual state is sovereign and can command its National Guard as sovereign. That's the governor. All right, not the president. What's the president? Presidents reside over companies, corporations, CEOs. That's what the president is. The chief, they call him the commander in chief. He's the chief executive. He's in the executive branch, that office of government. So he is the CEO of DC, and in turn, corporate America. All right. So now we're gonna make the distinctions. Right? Corporate America is getting ready to roll on. It's subsidiaries, I guess, because y'all are all franchisees of this corporation due to your birth certificate, Social Security, and all of that. That makes you a franchisee of this corporation. That's why they tax you. All right. This is why you'll hear Apostle Tahar from time to time speak on the UCC, or Universal Commercial Code. Right, because that's what governs the corporation, or this corporation is commercial. It's all commercial. They don't deal with sovereign, they don't deal with natural. All right, you as a natural individual, a man, flesh and blood man, flesh and blood woman, they don't deal with you in that capacity. That's why your name is in all caps every time you get something from the government in its so-called official capacity, because it's stating that you're dead. All right, and you go to court and all of that under that all caps name. You're pledging for that fictitious entity. They just created that it's called a straw man. They created that entity, and you go to participate as that entity. Now, none of that might make sense if you know a little bit of study some of this. It does make sense to you, but where this is going, all right, this is why they ain't gonna have no issue with rolling on y'all. As I stated in my video, all right, viral images of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans acting a plumb fool all throughout the U.S., all right, all around the world, went viral throughout the Pandeezy and all of that, the lockdowns, COVID, ID19. Y'all was wilding out. And that was the setup for this, what they getting ready to do. So now when they roll, ain't nobody gonna have no sympathy, no empathy, no nothing for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You have, in essence, isolated yourself, you know, from the care, from from basic human care. Ain't nobody, even me, I don't care what happened to you niggas. Or you think any of the other nations don't care? But right, well, read on. I'm sorry, but like I said, it's a lot to unpack. Just to know where this is coming from, and to know where this is going. All right, it's a whole new ball game about to be put into effect. A whole new ball game. Y'all didn't even understand the last game they just ran on with the whole corporate game that I just briefly broke down. Y'all ain't understand that. You ain't understand straw man and any of that. And now they're getting ready to bring you into some more stuff, this digital stuff that you damn sure don't understand. This is how they keep winning. The Lord said, Hosea 4:6, that his people, the scripture says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You know? And here it is, the knowledge has been increased. Y'all rather, do whatever. But go ahead,
It says section 502F of the Title 32 of the U.S. Code is a long-standing authority that facilitates a range of important domestic National Guard missions. In the summer of 2020, however, the Trump administration made unprecedented use of this law.
Unprecedented. All right. Unprecedented use. It never been done before. Go ahead.
To bring unfederalized out-of-state Guard troops into Washington, D.C. to respond to protests following the murder of George Floyd. In doing so, the administration put forward an unbounded interpretation of 502F that risked subverting the broader statutory scheme Congress has created to govern domestic deployment of the military.
Breaking protocol. of the domestic, the sovereignty of the state, basically. Go ahead.
In addition, if a future president were to rely on this interpretation of the law to ask governors to send unfederalized guard personnel into a non-consenting state, as opposed to a non-state jurisdiction like DC,
As opposed to a non-state jurisdiction like DC. DC is it's a foreign corporation in the smack dab in the midst of America. Read that one more time, just that part.
It says, in addition, in the future, if a future president were to rely on this interpretation of the law to ask governors to send unfederalized guard personnel into a non-consenting state, as opposed to a non-state jurisdiction like DC,
go ahead.
That deployment would violate the Constitution.
So what Trump is doing is illegal. He's violating constitutional law. I just wanted to bring that out. That's all I needed. But you can read the rest of that article. But he's violating Constitution by doing that because DC, and again, the National Guard is supposed to be for that state. Because when I heard that, I said, well, ain't that against the law? And so, right, he's violating Constitution, but that goes back to last week's show. I just want you to see for yourself the tyranny. This government right now in the Trump administration is officially rogue. All right, that should raise flags and ring alarms. We are in a rogue government. Trump is behaving as a dictator. I was telling the brother before we started, I don't know the guys now. I was watching some new guy, and he made a real good point. He said, and what are we going into? Right, by very definition of the word democracy, America fits none of the guidelines. So by definition, we are no longer in a democracy. And let that sink in. You got it, brother. I'm good on that. You go back to the video.
That's it. So we'll play the Yashawama video. We'll play a couple minutes of it, and then the rest of this we can kind of begin to wind down. It's like shorts, little Instagram clips. And again, we gonna touch on this DOD thing just to show. We gotta highlight this again real quick before we play out the Yashawama video, just to show this DOD, Department of Defense directive. This from they stuff. This from them, a PDF. And it's already in the description box too. If you click the link under the video, it's in there. It says again, the DOD intelligence, this is what this whole thing about. This playbook right here. That's what we're gonna call it, the DOD playbook. It says the DOD intelligence and intelligence related activities. And what else? This is what we're touching on. And this is what we see Trump doing, and it start with DC. And defense intelligence component, which one of those components is, as we read, the National Guard.
National Guard, yep.
ICE, and man, it's so cold all the times. Apostle, like, I won't cut you off.
No, yeah, you got it.
It's so cold. That's why this video up, because it goes into those components. Let's play it real quick. Listen to the components, and these components. Hold on. Matter of fact. Let's read the components first. Where they at? I know. Let's read some of them, and we're gonna see if Trump sent these very components. That's the new one. Components to DC to see if this playbook is playing out. If Habakkuk 2 is doing this thing, right? So this is the responsibility of the components when things get hectic in America, and these are the people who gonna come to serve. Check this out. It says this provides guidance for the conduct of the DOD intelligence and intelligence related activities, and serves as the DOD lead for DOD participation in such activities. So these are the groups or components who going to participate when America need them. It says it serves as the point of contact for the Secretary of Defense and Defense Intelligence, and we, the same thing, the DOD intelligence. Here it is: the U.S. government entities and agencies, including the National Security Council, the House of the Director for National Intelligence, Homeland Security Council,
Definitely.
the Department of the Treasury, State, Justice, and Homeland Security. It says the IC, Congress, foreign governments, international organizations, so on and so forth. And what's another one? It says state, tribal, and local agencies when working with National Guard entities whose personnel are in the state active duty or Title 32. When they need it, these are the people who are going to work with the National Guard. That's what it just said. These are the other components who are going to work with the National Guard when times get hard in America, whether by natural disasters or when all hell break loose. Let's play this video real quick and we'll get into El Yashawama video, because that's who Trump sent in, these very components.
Troops have now arrived in the city after.
Let's rewind it. Refresh.
National Guard troops have now arrived in the city after the president declared a crime emergency in our nation's capital and deployed hundreds of guardsmen. FBI, DEA, other federal agents have already been patrolling the streets. And D.C.'s mayor and police chief just met with Attorney General Pam Bondi at the Justice Department.
They're serving more in somewhat of a support role, backing up these various law enforcement agencies that are going to be part of this.
A support role? Come on, man. Going back to the playbook, they used as a support role backing up the local law enforcement agencies. Ain't that's what we read in the playbook? They gonna provide assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. We literally see Esau playbook playing out. Come on, man.
That's it.
Come on, man. Let's finish. Let's let him play it. Let's go back some more. That's what he said. He literally said the title of their playbook.
A support role backing up these various law enforcement agencies.
General Pam Bondi at the Justice Department.
They're serving more in somewhat of a support role, backing up these various law enforcement agencies that are going to be part of this crackdown. Specifically, we're told that they could be responsible for helping to break up some of these homeless encampments that have popped up throughout D.C. There is no doubt that the crime statistics show that violent crime is dropping in Washington, D.C., but there is still a crime problem here.
How we got here, or what we think about the circumstances right now. We have more police, and we want to make sure we use them.
National Guard troops have now arrived in the city after the president declared.
Let's play the Yashawama video.
Elderly's houses, robbing the elderly. My mom's friend got robbed. Damn, Onita got robbed. Yep, they beat her upside the head, took her purse, go therefore and smite. So the Lord is getting ready to let this devil loose. And my question is, you thugs, let me get this video here. Oh, damn, looks like they took these videos down. Hold up.
You know what's funny? I'm seeing what Trump is doing. You know, I don't agree with a lot of things that he's doing, especially with the homeless. He's making a law for homeless people can't sleep on the streets. Where are they going to go? Like, real talk. But one thing, I'm sitting back and I got my popcorns and I'm looking at and I'm paying attention to, you killers in the hood.
Right.
You sliders in the hood. You niggas will be making all these videos talk about this, my block. Niggas can't come over here. Niggas can't do that. Now Donald Trump has deployed the National Guard, Army, FBI, and so many other police agencies in Washington, D.C.'s in the hood. And he's planning on doing it in other neighborhoods around the world. But my message is to you niggas now. Have the same energy. Run them off the block. Why they not checking in? Why you niggas running? Have that.
Yeah, you got to check in if you come to my city. You know what I'm saying? And Esau can change the name of the city. He can change the name of the street anytime he wants, man. We know what goes on in the hood. We know what you jakes do to each other, man. But let's keep that same energy towards these troops, towards these ICE agents.
Same energy. Y'all want the fucking police badge numbers now, but you didn't want that little girl or that boy name when you killed them. Have that same energy. Halftime ass gangsters.
See that? Yeah, the thugs, Guerrilla Hebrew, all you Crips. Go be hard towards the troops. Go be the Sakari. Go do what the Sakari tried to do.
All part of DHS's.
So I'm gonna go back to it where he was, and we gonna read a little bit more of that playbook. Esau said if they got a call on the National Guard, if things got out of hand, they not gonna hesitate to use deadly force. So y'all YNs out there, as the elder saying, if this y'all time to step up, this y'all time to spin a block, this y'all time to shine. Because Esau ready. Matter of fact, if Lord willing, we get that 2 Ezra 16, a great wrath of a multitude is kindled upon you, man. Jake don't know what time it is. Just because you got a switch. Look, Esau, he gave you a switch to occupy you and think you got something. He don't want a switch. Esau don't want no switch. He don't need a switch. Esau got something that'll fry your brain. He don't even have to shoot nothing. You was about to say something about that, Paul?
No, you good. I was just agreeing.
Go be hard towards the troops. Go be the Sakari. Go do what the Sakari tried to do. You can see the page, the names of the pages. Okay. Barrels of indignation.
Now, why am I saying this? Because Trump has declared.
Let's get this. Let's bring it back just a little bit.
I warned you throughout last year that these days would come if people help re-elect Donald Trump. Now, why am I saying this? Because Trump has declared war on Black America. What else is it when he orders the military to provide resources to law enforcement and then unleashes those cops and the National Guard into the blackest city in America? And then he promises to unleash them also in other black cities in America. And we know they're coming into black neighborhoods because Trump said that blacks commit most of the crime in this country, which isn't true. And he said that to thunderous applause in a black Detroit church.
See, and we ain't. Yeah, yep. He said we got to fix the black neighborhoods. The people want safety in their black neighborhoods, so we have to. Yeah, remember that. Now we know Esau Edom commits hella crime, but see, when you start comparing, well, when you say Jake does wickedness, and then you bring up, well, Esau does crime too. Well, we ain't. Nah, man, we talking about our people. Esau Edom's gonna get his just due. But we talking about our people right now, man. Okay, and the wicked.
Matter of fact, I get a precept. We ain't get a precept in a minute. This Jeremiah 30. This Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. It's a time we in. A time like never before. And this is the beginning stages. We see it happen. I'll go back to the vid. Jeremiah 30 and 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's in the title. That's in the title. What the title say? Jacob's trouble is coming to a city near you, man. These things are about to happen. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
Wickedness that they've continuously done. They've gotten worse. This is the worst generation that the earth has ever seen. And the scriptures tell you in Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter and the final verse, somebody can post it. Horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation, man. The Lord is about to let this man loose on you niggas, man. And he's going to protect his elect through this. Although some of us may be caught up, thrown into the prisons, even if we have to, go back to the spirit world, it's for a righteous cause. You niggas are going to suffer for wickedness. The wickedness you've done.
So, hello, stop and frisk, and bye-bye due process. Bye-bye equal protection. Bye-bye 4th Amendment. Bye-bye reasonable suspicion, probable cause, see you later, and so forth. I say this because I've been a practicing criminal defense and civil rights attorney for almost 2 decades. And
Did he say habeas corpus?
What's coming.
Did he say habeas corpus? I know.
I'm not sure.
It ain't important, but yeah, that's gone too.
Yep. I'm gonna skip up, play a couple more minutes. I'm gonna skip. So also, what else is happening is that you have a lot of these Edomites who's signing up for ICE. That's the time when look. So you gotta see the stage that Esau, by what this American government is trying to set. Look what they did with the Northern Kingdom. They demonized them and portrayed them to be immigrants and they're just going around and raping people. So hide your children and so on and so forth, right? taking all your jobs and all these different things and drug smugglers. So now, once Americans heard that, and then Trump said, look, let's get these people out of here for America. The stupid ass Americans say, yeah, for America. So they was with the deportations. Now we seeing how America and, you know, the so-called regular everyday American been tired of a Negro or Hispanic, right? Or Native American, especially Judah. Now Trump saying, look, they a part of why crime like it is too. They gangbangers and drug dealers. You can't go outside to a store, you're gonna get robbed and drugs. So you know what? We need to pack them up too. So now America's like, yeah, let's pack them up too. But now Trump offering anybody who want a patriot, American patriot, if you want to participate and go and grab up niggas and Mexicans, sign up. You can get I think they're gonna say a $50,000 bonus. Sign up. Come on, sign up.
Yep.
Come on, sign up. So that's to show you the times we're in. So when we get to second after 16, and really the stage being set for the people to be already conditioned,
the enemy to be let loose,
to come like this for the prophets. So once the prophets be put on the scene, everybody be like, yeah, I hated them niggas anyway. Right? Esau would be like, yeah, that was them. I was walking with my children and they said that. But it's all the start of it, man. But you about to say something, Taza Paul?
No.
Come
on Jake to take care of these 2/3 before some of the 2/3 before that missiles come, man. Okay.
Wage. There's a need to increase affordable housing. We need him to stop what this is to be.
Have pretty.
We're really ecstatic about seeing the increase in.
They pandered towards them. Now you got Trump like hell nah. And you got people like this.
We're finding those people that really want to serve the country. We're really ecstatic about seeing the increase in new recruits that are applying.
Some people stand to get a $50,000 bonus just for signing up to join ICE.
We are calling on every freedom-loving American to join ICE today. You get a $50,000 signing bonus, up to $60,000 of your student loans forgiven.
It's all part of DHS's latest recruitment.
So you're going to have your student loans forgiven to go and sign up for ICE. So you're going to have these patriotic, red-blooded Americans who are seeing their country be stripped away from them. Okay, and they still believe in MAGA. They still believe in this MAGA crap. So to make them feel better about the reality of what's happening, because they too are going to lose in the New World Order, right? He's going to weaponize them and allow some of them, all right, to get paid to beat your ass. Okay, you got some Edomite with some crazy philosophy. Now he got an ICE vest on. Okay, what do you think he's going to do? They've been waiting on this moment. They've been tired of having to feel bad about their history and be told that their forefathers stole this country and, raped, robbed, and murdered the world. They tired of hearing that. And they played with it for a minute. Yeah, that was wrong. But now Trump comes in and they like, yes, nigga, this is what we needed.
Campaign, where President Trump's administration and allies are calling on Americans to protect the homeland and help with deportations.
We need people's help to round them all up and send them home.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
The campaign borrows imagery from World War I and World War II and frames joining ICE as a patriotic duty.
Be a part of this team that is helping make America safe again with President Trump.
The push to hire more ICE agents received a massive boost in funding through Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. And it goes hand in hand with the president's promise to carry out the largest deportation in American history. Part of DHS's selling point is to help ICE deport the worst of the worst, which is something.
The worst of the worst. And it ain't just the Northern Kingdom they're coming after, man. Okay, you got all kind of agents. They already done arrested 23 people on the first night of the DC takeover.
And that's game. Worst of the worst. What's your metric? What you going by? How the fuck you know? Worst of the worst. How you know? Well, I mean, how would they know? There's a bunch of, but that's to, get people to buy into it, to sell the bullshit. Yeah, we're gonna get the worst of the worst. Yeah, they got to go. And meanwhile, that dialectic is at play. All right, the people that's being deported, have been deported, is the same people that the Biden administration welcomed over here. Then this administration criminalized them, and nobody, really did anything. So yeah, the stage is set. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about us. And look at what happened to the Northern Kingdom, and it's gonna be worse with you niggas. Well, you Negroes, you know, it's gonna be worse, but you got it out. As a matter of fact, you know, the Yashawama mentioned where he played that video. The old boy was right. You know, you just tough when it's us. But you know, anybody else, they get a free pass. They can damn near slap your mama. And Jake is ridiculous, you know, at this point. But this is Isaiah. I'm sorry, Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. It says, let me go to 8. Genesis 49 and 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be on the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. All right. So this is a time when we're speaking first of all about these times, the last days. All right. And this was a prophecies that our forefather Jacob was given to all of his 12 tribes, which are the patriarchs, or his 12 sons, which are the patriarchs of the 12 tribes today. And so what he was telling Judah is basically when he said that thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies, that Judah would play a major part in bringing this, you know, this last rulership of Esau down. Just like we did in Rome. You had generals high up in rank and stuff that just took over. They, you know, did whatever they had to do and took over. Well, it's the same today. You got Jake high up in the military, Jake in government, you know, and the Most High is going to put a certain spirit on them come a point in time. All right? And this is what this is going into. Verse 9, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. And the prey is the enemy. All right? These same people that's about to bring this insurrection, that's getting ready to bring the tyranny. All right? They are the enemy. And it says, from the prey that thou hast gone up. So you're not a threat to the prey or the enemy. You're more a threat to your own people, all right, that you're going to need. And that's what Jake don't see. We've been, you know, you use the analogy of the frog in the pot, all right? But, right, we've been conquered and divided for so long that Jake don't even realize, man, y'all going to need each other. Coming here real soon. And this, you know, solidarity won't be there. There will be no galvanization of, there's going to be a bunch of individual niggas running wild, you know, just like you see the ICE raids and shit. They don't join together, so let's get these motherfuckers. Everybody just break off their separate ways. That's what the Lord say. You should flee from your enemies. I forget he say so many ways. Yeah. When you are no people. See, Esau coming together on that shit, just like the elder is saying, they getting some solidarity based on deposing or disposing of your ass. Why y'all can't even come together and say, man, they trying to roll on us. We need to come together. Jake ain't gonna do that. Jake and TikTok, they still on OnlyFans. Jake, whatever they into, still out scheming and robbing, scamming. Jake don't know what's going on. But getting back to the prophecy, Genesis 49 and 9, Judah is a lion's whelp, a young lion. You know, from the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He stooped down. He couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? So, right. Jake has gotten so comfortable and complacent here in America that that's why the scriptures say, who shall rouse him up? Well, the Most High is getting ready to do it through Jacob's trouble. All right. But yeah, you got it. I just want to get that, the prophecy, because the elder had mentioned it, man. Why y'all ain't got this same energy? What's up with y'all? You know, people getting hit by, you hitting your own people with stray bullets and shit, just because you just, want to show off. Look, I got this stick. Look, and then you shooting people that people that just getting caught up. I can't say innocent, but that's how people live around Negroes. But anyway, you got it, Doc.
God. Now that's it. We could begin to wind it down. So with all that, the troops out, and we know ultimately this is the beginning stages of martial law. Now it says, I ain't gonna play the vid, I'll play it, but it says DC residents protest as White House says federal agents will be on patrol 24/7. So they got a problem with it. But, hey, they there and they ain't leaving. So, and you already got they taking the homeless off the streets.
These laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city.
So they already own it.
Mm-hmm.
To the rats. Give us a home. How about that? How about just giving people that need a home inside? Then
So they already being removed. And look, not just that, YNs, they shocked. Just from DJ Academics, it says YNs shocked that Trump is really sending federal agents to the trenches in DC.
Oh my God! What the? Oh, they really hopping out. Oh, it's real. They really coming to your trenches and jumping out and bagging your, bro. They ain't all type of shit, boy. What the? Oh my God! What the? Oh, they really hopping out. Oh, it's real. They really coming to your trenches and jumping out and bagging your, bro. They ain't all type of shit, boy. What the?
So they ain't playing. Now, we could wind it down really, but this also what Trump doing. Remember how he had the Operation Warp Speed? Now he got this new thing coming, and I have to do a little more research on it, but it says from August 12th, End Time Headlines, the Trump administration plans to establish a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force, a group of troops to be on scene at a second. It says the Trump administration is evaluating plans that would establish a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force composed of hundreds of National Guard troops tasked with rapidly deploying into American cities facing protest or other unrest. Come on. And we're going to go to this DOD. When they be sent in, they're going to be given a green light to use deadly force. It's in the playbook. They just use big balls. If you've been in the loop, they just use big balls for all this to happen. Who used to work for Doge? He's supposedly a guy named Big Balls got beat up, and Trump said, "Oh my God, he got beat up in DC. We need to crack down." So now all this taking place because of a guy named Big Balls got beat up, who was a part of the Doge team. You see, Isaiah 10, man. They just using things to pass laws they already got in place.
That's been on the books. And then like you mentioned earlier, right? What I was saying, this could be sleight of hand, a distraction. Even though it's happening, there's other things coming down the pipe. So as the priest was mentioning, this could be just them also getting ahead of the financial collapse, because it's coming. And Richard Wolff said something heavy, all right? And he said, Trump is giving the world a scapegoat, if you will, or someone to point the finger at and say, this is why our country is failing. And you know what that's going to bring? More hatred and a lack of care toward what happens to people here in America. So the whole world is looking at America, and they'd be right to believe that, or to think that. That would be dead right, because this Federal Reserve note is, well, it still is, still has the status of world reserve currency, and the debt attached to it has infected the whole world, all countries of the world. And that's why BRICS had formed and became so popular, because they was basically setting their assets and their basing their monies in gold or other precious metals or whatever, commodities. All right, so yeah, now you got America, and why that's important is because nobody is faith in the dollar, and that's what the fiat means. Let it be so. It thrives on faith or people's belief in it. If people no longer believe that, this dollar is no longer worth anything, and if everybody believes that, then guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna get away from it. No, I don't want that funny money. No, don't give me that funny money. No, I don't. I'm not taking the U.S. dollar for my oil. No, I don't think I want that dollar for the coffee beans. And then guess what? The debt shoots up. The national debt shoots up, and you got a dire situation. You already got lack of jobs, and that's the homeless. That's what's driving or fueling the homeless situation. Lack of manufacturing and jobs opportunities here in America. Poor education. So they say, hey, this problem that we created, the way we're gonna deal with it, we're just gonna lock everybody up, which does nothing for the underlying situation itself. Like I said in my video the other day, shit, just cause I ain't out there today in my tent, don't mean I won't be out there tomorrow. There's nothing in place to prevent that. Inflation is still skyrocketing. It's getting harder and harder by the day to afford life. Just life. Esau put a price on life. What you do that you don't pay for? What do you do that you don't do? Get up in the morning, wash your face. They charging you for that water. You got to cut the lights on to see, make sure you straight. You got no boogers in your nose. Your hair straight. They charging you for them lights. So everybody's feeling the squeeze. They're putting the squeeze on. Everybody is feeling it. But right, that's disturbing, the rounding up of the homeless, because everybody's headed that way. And that's one of the things Richard Wolff was talking about. The inequality is steady growing. All right. Esau is just like the scriptures say, there was a great gulf fixed. Esau is fixing a great gulf between the haves and the have-nots. And soon it's going to be more and more people homeless, or going back to live with their parents, or people bunching up to afford rent. How the fuck you survive? You paying $1,500 for an 800 square foot box? $2,000. But anyway, there's other things coming down the pike, and as the priest was saying, we had this conversation before the live stream started. I say this can also be them getting ahead of this financial collapse, because you're gonna have a lot of disgruntled people. People are unemployed. They're working. People that do have jobs got to work 2, maybe 3 jobs just to make it. People, it's a powder keg. All right. And probably one of the last shoes to fall is when they go ahead and admit that the dollar is dead. It's been dead, but just go and let it collapse. Then you'll see the MOTB and everything else that come down the pike. And if you got something to say, they already got them troops federalized. Say something if you want to. So, right. It is bigger than, this is big, but it's other things coming down the pike. I don't know when, but right, the economy is in shambles. All right, I don't want to be long-winded, but it really is a lot to unpack. But go ahead.
Now that's it. And even speaking of that, so this next thing that they've been talking about with these troops on the street, and this is really it after this, but the troops on the street, I read this article. It says, this is from defense1.com, and it was put out August 5th. It says how Trump's DC takeover could supercharge surveillance. It says the emergency declaration combined with new tech. Remember, the Army is linked with Palantir.
Right, Palantir. Yep.
It says the emergency declaration combined with new tech will give government broad new abilities to watch and monitor citizens. And it's going into this article so beautifully how things changed when the George Floyd riots came. So it says next up.
And a president was put in place by Trump, in which he then came in this administration and now is using against us. But right, the George Floyd situation, Trump did an unprecedented, really an illegal act. And since he set that precedent, now he can use it, even though it's illegal, but he has a case now so that he could draw from. But go ahead, yeah, bro, these devils cover their tracks, bro. But it ain't gonna help them. But yeah, hey, what you read, the surveillance, that's another component.
Yeah.
Well, because the DOD and the military go hand in hand, and the DOD is right there, heavily involved with Palantir. It's all linked. But go ahead,
Kind of is it. So when the military, the National Guard coming in, they also go help with upgrading the system. Remember, Trump and them already been talking about America having a restart, and the restart gonna be the new digital infrastructure. When things start to change, guess what? Who ain't gonna like it? The everyday citizens who've been so pampered with the freedoms of America. So therefore, as the advertisers pop been saying this whole time, as they start to pass more laws, therefore more freedoms gonna be taken away. But the government cool with it because we got troops on the street. We here. It's good. So more surveillance about to come. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing against it. Now, we can end it off on this. I want to read this one more time. The DOD going into the components. So this actually happening in our time. We seeing this playbook play out, and I want to go into why these troops being sent out. And as we've seen, it's the Homeland Security, so on and so forth. But check this out in Section 3 of it. It goes into, let me see, where is that? Slagging. Here we go. That's Section 2. Section 3, General Principles. And it's the exact section we're looking for. Defense intelligence component, like the National Guard or the FBI, Homeland Security. Assistance to help law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities, the local police. Now it goes into what they will be used for. Now check this out. It says permissible assistance. What's going to be allowed? Right. What they're allowed to help with, right? Check this out. It says in accordance with section 2.6 of E012333 as amended, unless otherwise precluded by such applicable law, presidential directive or other EO or policy, and except as indicated in paragraph 1 or 3 if this issuance, I get straight to the point. It says, including a federal law enforcement agency or a state or local law enforcement agency when lives are in danger are authorized. Remember, Trump been pushing that lives are in danger. So it says that could be helped with cooperating with appropriate law enforcement agencies to protect the IC employees or property or facilities. Right here it says, or they could be used for other powers such as international terrorist activities or international narcotic activities. It says providing special equipment, right? Providing specialized equipment, technical knowledge. See, that's the upgrade right there. Like this one just said, as they sending out the troops, there's going to supercharge surveillance. So the government is going to it says providing specialized equipment, technological knowledge, or assistance of expert personnel for use by any federal department or agency when lives are endangered to support state or local law enforcement agencies to help out the little people, right? The local police. And this is what they will be sent down for. It says levels of authority. And this is, we can end it on the Tazapah. You got it. It says the decision to approve requests for these types of permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2 to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities are reserved to Secretary of Defense. Provisions of personnel to support response efforts for civil disturbances, which if they keep sending troops, you're going to see more disturbances, more protests. So that's going to give them more of a reason to go out. It says so they could be sent for civil disturbances, which may also require presidential authority. Trump already gave that. Another reason they could be sent: DOD response to chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear and high yield explosive incidents. Some type of natural event they could be sent out for. Now this is the one. Check this out. Part C. In assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality. What lethality means? The capacity to cause death or serious harm or injury. It says they will be here to assist in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is responsibly foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force. So if they be sent, it may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or seriously bodily injury. Isn't a thing. This is why they go eventually be sent. And check this out. It said it also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. In other words, when the people start to go against the government and it is too much for the law enforcement, guess what Trump could bring in? Call them troops in and they could come in with deadly force. Baba Kashak, can I read this other Tazapah? And that's all I got.
Yeah. Got it.
The second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14 in the GNT, it says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near, and nations will arm themselves to fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. This is the point I wanted. It says, nope, I'm going to get this in the KJV. Got to. It sounded a little better. Remember, it says they will be sent in once the local law enforcement need help. 2nd Ezra 14 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's the people, right? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and that they is the citizens, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. The citizens ain't gonna care about or fear the government no more. They gonna run on them. And it says, in the course of their actions, the people shall stand in their power. And once that happens, guess who gonna need help? The local law enforcement. And guess who help? The troops. And at that point, verse 17, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because the troops here now. Lockdowns, shutdowns, or potential of lethality. It's all in prophecy, man. We right here. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. When it gets serious, men go be. See, we see it kind of play out. Men go be afraid, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Because hard times here. We right here. It's already, we read it in the law, and now we see Trump going forth with it, man. But you got to advertise, Paul.
That's right. Hey, you can't. Yeah. How would I put a 5? Is that for something? I was looking at the comments. But I don't know what that was about. Let's say shop around 5. But anyway, no, we can close it out. Yeah, I ain't had nothing.
That was it. I ain't had nothing either.
Okay. Yeah. I see Laban and Posh had put the definition of zeitgeist. Of course, it's German. It goes back to 1948, a noun. All right, which it says spirit of the age. Yep, you got the breakdown from Zeit, which is time, and then Geist is ghost or spirit with the Geist. But yeah, Zeit deal with time, and then Geist is ghost or spirit. Yeah. Well, no, I ain't had nothing. We pray that you all were edified. Stay diligent and on alert, because it's DC today. Who knows? And as I see it, they'll probably let DC marinate for a little while, let people kind of get comfortable with seeing the troops on the street, and then they'll probably branch it out. But who knows? Then something could happen tomorrow, a certain attack or whatever, and then, just like that overnight, they could be in every city. So, this is the part where, even the prophets are on the edge of their seats. All right? We're at that point where these are uncertain times, perilous times. So with that, we pray that you all were edified, and join us next week for another report. All right, it's the Thursday Live, the Thursday Watch, or report. And y'all stay up. We're gonna give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, of honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. So to the next one, y'all stay up. Much love. Shalom.
Shalom.